Um, I think the main character Elijah relates the most to me because he's the first character, and not only that, I kind of gave him my personality. Now, throughout the book, I put some of my personality into the other characters, but he relates to me the most. But not only that, my favorite book is the girl book, which is called V is for Vanity, because when I wrote it where the main demon was just really characterized by alliteration. And so I really dug deep into my skills as a writer to develop that character, and it makes the book, more phenomenal for me.
So predominantly, as far as your demographics, who do you feel like your stories are really geared to the most?
I would have to say between the ages of 13 and up. Little kids can indulge in it and like it as well, but I think the grasp of the books would be the middle school age, because that's where the genesis was, where it started. And but I wrote it to the effect where adults will maybe love it more, and the reason being is my mom, when she was pregnant with me, she said all she used to watch was the stories. And so as she listened to these stories, she would rub her stomach and say she wanted a creative son. And she got it indeed. So when I wrote the stories, I wrote it with her in mind so that it can be engaging and impactful. And the concept of the book is real life stories about spiritual warfare and how to fight with the whole armor. So that's what the books are really about. And to just give you a quick synopsis of what the entirety, the genesis of, and the universe of is, the book is about young people who have spiritual, socio-emotional challenges, struggles, and sins that manifest into demons. The young people then have to go into a spiritual realm to fight the demons to get their real lives back on track. But in order to defeat their demon, they have to put on the whole armor. And so that's the concept of the whole book series.
I think we live in an age of grace, a great age of mercy, where nobody's talking about the spiritual warfare side of what we face. So to hear a young man that has built a vision that is really encompassing parts of weaponry that we don't use anymore, I mean, I'm blown away. For yourself, what made this particular message alive within you, where it became something you were incorporating in your ministry?
It's the fact that it's life. We think that spiritual warfare was happening before we even discovered mental health. And spiritual warfare and mental health is almost synonymous. The reason we have the mental health is because our spirit is off. And what happens is people don't realize who we communicate with and who we are involved with, whether it be a relationship, whether it be sexually, whether it be family or whatever. Those people carry their own demons. And sometimes if we're not careful, those demons will impress upon us. And wherever we go, whether it's a club or a strip club or even a church, we got to realize that there's a spiritual realm that we need to deal with in order for our physical realm to be intact. And with that in mind, I want to let people know that that exists, and I want people to be reminded that it exists through these books and through the animation series that we're creating, because without realizing and recognizing that it exists, you will ignore it and then wonder what's going on in your life. What happens in our spiritual realm will affect our physical realm, and without knowing that you need to get something straight spiritually, you just may think that you have bad luck physically.
It's almost like having a hand tied behind your back and you're engaging in a fight with a skilled boxer. You wouldn't go into that fight, with any disadvantage, knowingly. However, we are in this age where a lot of times we're only taught to see, everything at face value, and not knowing that beneath the surface there is a spiritual realm that is very real, and that if you don't understand the engagement of it, it will hold you at a disadvantage.
Definitely.
With that said, every time I get a guest on this platform, I always like to pose this question. And I know I told you I got you questions, but this one is designed to make you think. And it goes something like this. When I ask, knowing what you know now, what's one thing
I definitely would tell my younger self to avoid certain people. Definitely the women I may have interacted with, I would tell myself to stay away from her because that's a waste of time. And then the friends who became foes, I would warn myself about watching that spirit as well. And so I think those are the most important things, because without those scenarios, even though they help develop me as an individual, the hurt, I think, could have been unnecessary.
I could actually do a whole nother podcast based on what you just said.
Yeah.
Because, there's just this reality. A lot of us live in this bubble where we're trying to impress people and do things to fit in certain crowds, where a few years from now, looking back, we won't know where a lot of those people are or why what they were doing were so impressed upon our lives, where we had to conform to this ideology. With that said, I just want you to take a few minutes to just really pour something that's on your heart to a lot of the kids, because every time I get a different guest on this platform, all of them come from different backgrounds, different wealth of wisdom and knowledge, and they often leave nuggets that kids are able to draw something from. Speak to some of these younger kids, even in that same vein, just more before we get out of here. I'd like to hear a little more from you on that tip.
Definitely. To any of the young people that may be listening, and even the parents, it's important that you encourage your kids, if you're a parent, in a positive way. And for the young people, just know that you already have a gift. You may have not discovered it yet, but the people around you know what your gift is. So when they tell you you're great, don't say, no, I don't think so, I'm not that good. Accept that gift. When someone says, oh man, great shot, accept that blessing, accept that word of encouragement. If someone calls you pretty or handsome, accept that. Embrace that God has given you a great ability and a great gift, and he gave you promise. And if you can accept who you are as an individual and the gifts that you have as an individual, and then, as we said at the beginning of this conversation, your gift will make room for you. It may not come the next day, tomorrow, or the next year, but it will reveal itself unto you as it was revealed to me. And not only that, but it will be able to give you many blessings. And the best part about blessings is that you can pour blessings out to other people. So the young people that's struggling with finding their gift, it's there. Ask your friends what the gift is. Ask your parents. Ask your cousin, your aunts and uncles. They know what your gift is because they are watching you. And sometimes it's hard to find your gift from inside out. But if you ask the people around you, they will know and tell you what you're good at. And that will help you be a greater person and put you on a path to success. I don't consider myself the greatest or the best at anything, but I am one of the hardest working at what I'm doing to give God the glory, the honor, and the praise through the things that I have. I may not be a preacher, I may not be a song leader, but I am an artist. And so my gift is the ministry of art. And so I want to use that to impact people, because I think the art community inside the church and inside the body is a lot of times overlooked because we can't show our gift doing worship. But we can show our gift outside of the building and to the world by being able to use the hands that God give us to be creative. And I always say in my classes, we're more like our creator when we create. So if you're a creative person, don't bury that, because God has got something for you and you need to take it from out of the ground. But if you do bury it, just know there's a great tree that's going to come out with beautiful fruit to be able to bless you and the people around you.
I don't even know if I can follow up behind those nuggets you just dropped. That was dynamite. But with that said, brother, I don't want to minimalize the gift God has put in your life. I want to give it proper credit. So what I'm going to ask you is to share with our listeners, those who have heard your vision and that connect and would like to read more about your stories. Where can they find your gift and how can they better support?
Definitely. I actually have two businesses. I'm a serial entrepreneur. And but the two that you can be able to find the quickest is I have a sip and paint company that operates in South Florida that's called Paint with Faith. And we're a mobile motivational painting company. So you can go to paintwithfaith.com if you want to have a girls' night, paint party, something for your kids at home, at your church or your school, or senior citizens. We can service you and we bring everything to you and we come to you. The second is what we've been talking about on today, is the Whole Armour Comic Book. You can just search in Google the Whole Armour Comic Book or go to thewholearmourcomicbook.com. Our social media platforms are the same, at Paint with Faith, at the Whole Armour Comic Book. And make sure you put the Whole Armour, not God, the Whole Armour Comic Book, and you can find everything you need to know about us. And definitely go out and grab one of those books. Stay tuned for the animation series, and we're looking forward to bless the world with something different and change. As the Bible says, we're going to turn the world upside down.
Guys, with this, you've heard it here first. Another blazing episode with special guest Chivas Davis, who has torn down the house. You guys know I got to get it back because I do want to talk some more creative things and helping you young people, especially, even some of you older heads, to unlock the gift that is in your life. So, with that said, you guys get over to his platform, support. You know how we like to do it. But guys, you've heard another edition of the Endzone Club. Stay tuned. Till next time.